Alright, Philosopher Round Table, Round 2. The subject is doom. Okay, heading into Round 2. Summarizing. Ooh, we're in trouble. Yeah, is there any good news? Is there any real potential to overcome the dilemma of our nature and the complexity of finding a purpose that's a little more elaborate than I need, I want, and chase satisfaction, and that just won't work in a world of maliciously opportunistic technology that can blow the world up, kind of thing. And that's the scale. That's the way it will inevitably come out. That for us to do anything truly interesting in the universe, we're going to have technology that can do things that are incredibly not interesting. So anyway, I would argue that the only solution to the dilemma of the violence versus technology problem is to control human behavior, to limit their access to technology, to create a controlled environment for human beings to live in, and whether it be some kind of natural paradise where machines and whatnot create a little, Garden of Eden for the humans to live in, a little bubble world of sorts, control reproduction, control climate, control everything. Or you do it in some kind of virtual way where you just plug the brains into an iPod and entertain it. But either way, it's not going to be what you'd call very purposeful. It's just feeding the animal. It's just rubbing bellies and whatnot, and it's rather a trivial accomplishment. Making yourself into a zoo animal is not much of an accomplishment. Nothing to cheer about. So I guess that would add, so that's really the subject, is what's the consequence here. I mean, the fact that people are going to die, I guess you have to say people who procreate are already sentencing their kid to some kind of horrible death anyway. If you're lucky, you get run over on the street and people ignore you. That's a good way to die compared to how most people die. And so the horror of the tidal wave, or the horror of the asteroid that blows up half the world and there's burning flesh all over and blah blah blah, and you live in the aftermath and survive like a cockroach. I mean, that horror compared to the horror we live with every day is, who cares? So what? So it's Jesus on the cross compared to a 6-year-old kid with cancer. Yeah, really. So the fact that human beings just don't seem capable of having a rational conversation about value and horror and what in fact is the function of us is just true. So I guess the other part of the argument, I guess, is just what's going to be the eulogy, so to speak, if there was an intelligence left behind that, let's say, could write the book and then off itself or whatever. What's the book of life on Earth? What's the eulogy? It's going to be over in less than, let's say, 1,000 years. It's going to be over. What's the eulogy for this little game played on planet Earth? Might be interesting to try writing that. Just because that's where the real meaning of this doom lies, is in the fact that there's not going to be any Star Wars adventuring. There's not going to be any cosmic consciousness. You can't take the visceral animal, the stupid ape that makes life rich at all, the hunger, and transport that into the center of a black hole and make a super consciousness. Because it won't be that super. It'll just be a hungry, nasty monster. So, anyway. So round 2, let's see how it goes. And I guess we'll go with Long Cat first, and then Mike. And that's what we're left with. Anybody else who wants to contribute, post a video with the Philosopher Roundtable in the title, and be obedient to some sort of time restraint. Thank you very much. And remember who you're talking to. And try to make an argument that's going to persuade the people at the table. Yeah. Anyway, till next time.